This is a 2012 12 plate Audi A7 3 litre TDI Quattro S-tronic automatic, presented in metallic phantom black pearl with full black Milano leather interior. It's had just one private owner from new, it's never changed hands before. Now I will just quickly show you around the bodywork to the issues that I just want to point out. There's a couple of very minor scuffs to the front wing there which have been touched in and are not overly visually significant. Likewise on the front, stone chips that would normally be noticeable have been touched into a reasonably good standard, so that overall the front bonnet still looks pretty good. No real marks to the alloys as such. On the rear wing, just around the wheel arch, there's a couple of small dents just around the wheel arch here, which hopefully you can see in the video. I think a paintless dent removal could just lever those out from the inside. Rear bumper, just a couple of marks across the rear bumper, which hopefully you can see, just surface scratches and the like, but nothing too major. On this rear side, again on the rear arch, you've got exactly the same as we have on the other side, just a couple of small dents just around this inner arch area here, but again, being to this fairly confined small area, I would think a paintless dent removal would get those out. And then on this door there is a crease dent in the middle of the door, which is something a paintless dent removal could possibly remove, but there will still be a residual scratch. So I would think the best course of action there would be to refinish the door. But overall, I would say generally there are marks and scratches around the vehicle that I've pointed out. Anything else will be consistent with age and mileage, and any buyers wanting to view should take these aspects into consideration before coming to see the car. Thank you. The interior, I really don't have any issues with the interior. It's very tidy, there are no faults, very little evidence of wear and tear. Even the driver's seat leather is actually absolutely fine, testament to the Milano leather. It's a really durable leather. The footwells are nice and tidy, and there is a full set of Audi overmats in the boot, which we'll have a look at shortly. But overall I'd say the front, the seats, footwells, buttons, everything, all in really good order, so no issues at all with that. Looking at the rear, this model has the full 3-seater bench seat, which you can see there, including a pull-down centre armrest in the middle, which has a storage compartment and a retractable dual cup holder, which I shall just re-stow and put back into place. Again, you've got the rear climate here with the heated rear seats, which I think is quite a nice option to have. Footwells, again, nice and tidy, no damage to the storage nets in the backs of the front seats, and all of the door cards are perfectly fine as well. So overall, I'd rate the condition of the rear as very good indeed. I don't think it's had much in the way of passengers in its lifetime, hence very little wear and tear. And of course, the seats load through from the boot in a 60-40 split, and the carpets behind are also relatively tidy. So very pleased with that. Let's take a look at the boot. Boot is electrically operated. You have to press and hold the button for it to operate, so that you don't inadvertently unlock it and open it when the key is in your pocket. Really large size boot, as you can see. For a car of this sort of classification, the rear storage really is fantastic. And underneath here you've got the original space saver, and underneath that is the toolkit, and of course the all important locking wheel nut adapter key. So we'll just close that. Fantastic. So we'll just have a look at the interior from the driver's side, starting with the rear, just to look at it from another angle. As you can hopefully see, much like looking at it from the other side, all fine, no issues. Leather smells lovely. I've got the Audi overmats for it. They're actually in my garage, and I'll be refitting those to the vehicle shortly. So rear, really good, no issues at all. Front driver side, you can see door card, all absolutely fine. You've got the memory settings here for the driver's electric seat, and of course there's your adjustment for the electric seat, which is all in perfectly good functional order. And this is your 4-way electric lumbar adjustment, which I used when I drove the car and found that really, really nice to have. It just gives you a bit of extra support to your back. Internally, so all really lovely. S-tronic gearbox, smooth and fault free. It's keyless obviously, so I'll just turn the ignition on. Out comes the display screen, and here is your main display. I'll just start the engine. You can see running smoothly, quietly, flawlessly, no faults at all. Lovely to drive. There are paddle shift controls here for changing gear manually if desired. Computer controls and voice control, speech recognition. There's your cruise control stem there. You've got obviously your main screen for navigation and multimedia, and then down here you've got the multimedia and CD slot. There's two SD card slots. This one on the left is housing the SD card for the navigation system. There's an override button there for the parking sensors. That's a button there for the electronically deployed wind deflector on the rear, so rear spoiler. S-tronic gearbox also has the hill hold assist, electronic parking brake, and everything else that you can see there that's relatively self-explanatory. In the compartment here under the armrest, you've got a phone docking module there, and there's additional storage in that small compartment there, all within this adjustable centre armrest. You've got a light coloured, sort of light grey beige headlining, which all looks fairly tidy, and everything else is exactly how it appears. No faults, no issues. Very pleased with the interior. And now we can go and have a look at the documentation and service history. So here we have all the documentation and service history for the Audi A7. Now keep in mind when we look through this that this vehicle has had just one owner from new, so it's never changed hands before. £56,500 original cost of this car. So when you spend that kind of money, you do tend to look after the upkeep very, very well. Pleased to say I've got every single invoice from new. There are 10 services on record. I've got every warranty receipt, I've got every MOT, and I've got every receipt for just general maintenance. So first of all, the V5 registration document, which when it comes into focus you can see there's no previous registered keeper. It is just one owner from new, and all the vehicle details are clear to see there, and the vehicle is of course entirely HPI clear, as any check will show. Here are the invoices and receipts for all 10 services. You've got 5 Audi main dealership services and you've got 5 independent garage services, so about the right mix of main dealer and Audi specialist services, as you can see there. So looking basically throughout, you've got service 1 in 13 at 17,000 miles, service 2 in 14 at 36,000 miles, service 3 in 15 at 55,000 miles, service 4 in 16 at 73,000 miles, service 5 in 17 at 91,000 miles, service 6 in 2018 at 106,000 miles, service 7 in 2019 at 121,000 miles, service 8 in 2020 at 131,000 miles, service 9 in 2021 at 142,000 miles, and service 10, which was done in the middle of August 2022 at 150,683,000 miles. The mileage now is just slightly above 151, so the service in mileage terms has only just been done, so you've got no near-term servicing requirements. And all the history is there. It's wonderful. Here we have Audi warranty invoices and documentation. There's miscellaneous invoices there which covers things like brake discs, pads, etc. And we've got the MOTs there. The current MOT has been done very similar mileage to the service, 150,666, so barely 500 miles ago. And there were some tyre wear advisories, but all within limits. But just again, something to be transparent and to make sure you're aware of. That will be the only near-term consideration. In addition to all this wonderful history and paperwork, we also have the original Audi owner's pack and both original ignition keys. Everything inside is complete and intact, exactly as supplied new.